here today as part of Shawnee State Golf Media Day. First, we're here with Shawnee State women's golfer Cali Baird. Cali, great to have you. And first, just going into the spring portion of the schedule, how do you feel about where the women's golf program's at as a whole?
I believe going into the spring season, the women's program is at a very good spot with effort being made and everyone supporting everyone. There's a lot of room for potential growth and individually growth.
Secondly, you've made a tremendous amount of gains as a group from this season to last. What do you attribute that to?
We've made a lot of progress from last season to this season. It's due to the effort and dedication and the guidance of our new coaches. Also, our freshman class has brought in a lot of talent and energy, which has kind of made the whole team want to improve, so that's great too.
You mentioned in your first part of your answer the coaching staff that's come in, and Holly Hart and Erica Martin are two rooms that are dedicated to the program. They've shown a lot of heart and shown a lot of care for it, both as players and now in their coaching roles. So what's it been like having them coach you?
Having new coaches was a big change, but they've been part of this program for many years, so they knew what to expect and kind of had the golf game down. They both bring in different coaching styles, which is great, but their goals are the same, and they kind of have been really dedicated over the past season.
What have you done individually to try to improve your golf game?
Individually, I've been trying to improve my golf game over the season. I've been working on some swing mechanics to gain some consistency and accuracy to improve my game for the next semester.
And then lastly, your final thoughts and expectations for the spring.
My final thoughts for the spring season and the next couple years, I think it's going to be good to improve, and this freshman class has really brought in that new perspective, and I have high hopes from our underclassmen too as well that we're going to be doing great this season.
Part of Shawnee State Golf Media Day, and now with men's golfer Ross Ferrell from Tipp City, Ohio. Ross, I'll start. Just how do you feel about where you guys are at heading into the spring?
Feel pretty good. The fall went well. Probably not as well as we wanted it to, but we hold our standards pretty high. But yeah, I feel pretty good. For the most part, from what I know, we've had a lot of guys in the simulator working. We got the new putting simulator, and hopefully it shows some good improvements for the spring here.
Like the women's team, you mentioned you made a tremendous amount of gains as a group. I know you mentioned the fall results weren't as you wanted them to be, but they were an improvement from last year.
For sure.
So what do you attribute that to? I mean, you mentioned the simulators.
The simulators have been huge, for sure. Because over the winter, I mean, if you don't have a simulator, you got nothing to do. I mean, you really are really behind these other teams that do. I would attribute it to the simulator mainly. I would say like 90% having those two, the putting one as well, huge. Other than that, I mean, the gains I think just come from bouncing off of one another. I think it's a pretty tight group, and we all get along well. And it's like we're all very competitive, and it's like you almost just want to beat the other player, so it almost motivates you to go out there and just give it your all every day, pretty much.
There's a great deal of experience that's come back this year. Tanner, Kyle, Max, Trey, Logan, and Bodie are all back with you. They're all multi-year guys, and then you've had I think 4 or 5 freshmen there that have factored into the mix. I know Owen Robinson played a lot with the scoring guys at times, so that made you guys better at singing. How have you guys helped? How's that helped?
A ton. Obviously, you got your returning guys, and you know what you're getting out of them. All those guys are going to compete. That's why they're here. The freshman class was good. A lot of them participated in many ways, but to be fair, a lot of them also made you almost made you have to play better, because there were, just because they all didn't travel technically, but they still were right there in the bubble, to where it's like if you didn't play good, you weren't going to play. So it was like, it's not like it was just a set 5 or 6 that were going to go to every tournament. It it was tight scores all the way around. So yeah, no, having everyone there just pretty much just keep everyone in check score wise is nice.
What have you worked on to improve your own golf game?
Me personally, man, we hit winter and I had to take a little break. I was golfed out for a minute there. But a good little reset, I think, for me is always good. Towards the end of the season, I was feeling I wasn't playing as good as I was at the beginning of the season, which doesn't always add up, but that's golf. So I took a little break. Now we're back in gear. We're hitting. I've really, me personally, working on ball striking more than anything, mid irons. That was probably the weakness throughout the year was the irons over everything. So that's really been the grind.
And then final thoughts and expectations for what you guys can do in the spring. I know you kind of fringe top 5 to 6 there conference wise. Do you see that as a reasonable goal?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't go win it. It's golf. It's I think golf's one of the few sports that's like, even if you take 5 players from 2 different schools or just anywhere, just because the 5 better players, if there's 5 better players on a team comparative to the other 5, it doesn't mean they're going to win every time. It's
right.
It's you can have bad days, you can have bad conditions that doesn't play into their hand. It really comes down to just the day of golf. Trust me, I've gone out and shot a really good score and a really bad score the following day, or a really good score and a really bad score the following day. I think any golfer can say they've done that. So it's you never know. So I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but yeah, no, I don't see a reason why we couldn't have things click and go win.